Week 2 is upon us. We are getting into the excitement of the season. Starting it off tonight with Thursday Night Football, Ohio against Ohio, Heisman winner against Heisman winner, in division rivals, first round pick versus first round pick. Let's jump right into it. Week 2 starts in Cleveland, where Joe Burrow's Bengals head to town to take on Baker Mayfield's Browns. The storylines here are obviously endless. I'm really intrigued by the fact that so much rests on the Browns season, or maybe the media is just kind of making it that way, depending on how this Week 2 game goes. So much talent, obviously, on that Browns roster. I think that Nate Burleson made a great point earlier this week on Good Morning Football that them establishing the run might really help to open up the pass for Baker Mayfield to get the ball to his wide receiver targets in Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. Anytime Odell is on a team, the media is going to surround that, create storylines that might not be there. So I think we are making a bigger deal than we would make with another receiver on another team, just because Odell is that headline type superstar receiver, regardless of if his on the field numbers match that level of stardom, right? And then on the other side, with the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow is an absolute rock star. He put on a clinic last year in college football. I absolutely loved watching him. So to see him bring that cool, calm, collected demeanor to the NFL it's awesome. It's so much fun to watch, I'm not gonna lie. And then of course, with him now having Myles Garrett going after him, maybe being able to attack a depleted secondary, because the Browns did have some injury concerns throughout camp. I do have Cincinnati taking this one. I don't know. I think the media might get in the Browns' head, but I'm crossing my fingers that they can pull it out. Again, especially with so much talent on that roster. The next game that I've got, New York Giants heading to Chicago. I'm giving Chicago, Mitch Trubisky's Bears, start the season off 2-0. Who would have expected? I'm giving the Chicago Bears this win. Next up, Atlanta heading to Dallas. I think that I'm giving the slight advantage to Dallas in terms of talent on the roster, but I would not be surprised if Atlanta pulled it off. I do have Dallas taking the win though. And the Detroit Lions head to Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Matt Stafford is an absolute rock star of a quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers is on a revenge tour. I think the Packers take it. Next round of games, Jacksonville heads to Tennessee to take on the Titans. I do have the Tennessee Titans taking this one, even though Gardner Minshew and those Jaguars are putting up a fight. We were all talking about tanking, and apparently they want no part of that conversation. After that, we've got Minnesota heading to Indianapolis. The Vikings versus the Colts. I do have the Vikings getting back on track this week after a little bit of a rocky start last week versus Green Bay. The next game that I've got, Miami heading to Buffalo heading to Miami to take on the Dolphins. I do have the Bills taking this one. That is a rock solid team. I can't wait to see them up against the Patriots a little bit later this season. And finally, San Francisco heading to New York to take on the Jets. I have the 49ers winning this one. I have a sneaky feeling the Jets might be getting the first pick in the draft this season. The next game we've got, the LA Rams head to Philly to take on the Eagles. I have the Rams winning this one because they looked back to 2018 form on Sunday Night Football versus the Cowboys. But if you know anything about this Eagles team, you know that anything can happen. They can pull things out of a hat, lose to the Washington football team one week, and then beat the Rams the next week. So anything can happen, but I do think that the Rams take it. The next game we've got Denver heading to Pittsburgh. I trust the Steelers offense more than I trust the Broncos offense. So I'm giving the advantage to the Steelers here, even though I think that the Broncos defense is going to give Big Ben a little bit of a challenge. I think they're going to give him fits. And of course, that Steelers defense is very stout. I am going with the Steelers on this one, though. Carolina heads to Tampa Bay. I think Tom Brady and those Buccaneers get back on track this week. They kind of find their footing, maybe can start to build a little bit of that chemistry that we didn't see from them in week 1. I'm giving this one to the Buccaneers, even though I do not think the Carolina Panthers are going to lay down and just let this team ride over them. They are clearly putting up, a fight this year, or so it looks like in week 1. Again, we're so early in the season, so you can't really tell, but I do think that the Bucks take this one. Washington heading to Arizona. I'm really excited for this game. This is like a sneaky good game to me. I do think that the Arizona Cardinals take this, but I think it'll be interesting to see how Kyler Murray can escape that defensive front, like what against those guys. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this one here in Dallas. So I'm really intrigued by what this is going to look like. The Kansas City Chiefs head to LA to take on the Chargers. I do think that this Chiefs team takes this one pretty comfortably, even though I do think the Chargers give them a little bit tougher of a defensive look than the Houston Texans did last week. Speaking of that Texans team, the Baltimore Ravens head to Houston to take on the Texans. I have Baltimore winning this one. Sunday night football is going to be so exciting this week. Cam Newton and the New England Patriots are heading to Seattle to take on Russell Wilson's Seahawks. I am thrilled for this matchup. I'm really excited to see, one, if the Seahawks, who built to be a Super Bowl ready team this year, are actually Super Bowl ready. I heard Brian Schottenheimer was calling a lot more exciting plays down in Atlanta. Hopefully he keeps up that momentum. I'm sure Bill Belichick is going to have lots to throw at him in terms of how he's calling that defense. He's a mastermind on that side of the ball. And then, of course, what is Cam Newton now going to look like against a tougher opponent in the Seahawks? I am so thrilled for this game. I think it's going to be just, there's going to be so much going on, and it'll kind of give us a lot for what we expected for these teams, two powerhouse organizations that always play high caliber football. What are we getting from them going forward in this season, and will we see them competing in the big game come February, right? I do have the Patriots taking this one just because I'm giving the slight advantage to them in terms of coaching. I think they're going to be able to better game plan for the Seahawks, but it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a really, really fun matchup. And finally, rounding out week 2, Monday Night Football, the New Orleans Saints head to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders, opening up Allegiant Stadium. I'm very intrigued to see what that's going to look like on TV because SoFi impressed so much last week. I do think the Saints take this one, but I am interested to see what this Raiders offense looks like. I know Ryan Edwards and Henry Ruggs were two big wide receiver names coming out of camp. Josh Jacobs in his second season, who I heard had a great week 1, and then Jonathan Abrams, everybody's like favorite safety, back on the field, back healthy, so lots to look at. That's it. That's what I've got for you guys in terms of week 2 picks. Let me know down below in the comments if you have any questions, if you disagree with any of my picks, if you want to further elaborate and talk about some of your favorite teams. I will talk to you guys so soon. I appreciate all your support. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. Talk to me on all social media channels. I will talk to you guys really soon.